Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay and I am already flustered because of the people that are in this room. They're just great conversations are happening and throwing me off. It's been great. I love it.
You love it. It's been throwing you off.
It's been throwing me off. So, today's Thursday and I'm thankful. I'm thankful this Thursday. Already had a great interaction at Starbucks and it's just been a fabulous day. So strap yourselves in. Make sure you have your coffee. I am out of cookies, so I need to run to the store again. But let's get started. Nick, what do you got today?
Let's get started.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like my face already hurts from laughing so much.
I know.
It has been absolutely just a great morning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you want to know what? If you are low on coffee, you better go get a refill because this conversation is going to have you laughing. Like I said, my face is hurting. I'm so excited about the guest we have today. Lindsay, take it away.
Yes. So the guest we have today, just a reminder, if you haven't been with us, this week is all about relationships. And we've been bringing in couples that we admire and want to learn from. So I'm so excited to be learning from this couple. They've been married for 13 years and been together longer than that. So they have just so much knowledge. And yeah, please welcome Ernesto and Gina Lopez.
Good morning.
Just say hi. And
hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
You're looking pretty cute over there, Gina.
Oh, good.
Well, thank you guys for having us. Thank you so much for the coffee. We are excited to be here. And,
Is he always like that?
all day? No. There's never a serious moment. He does not allow it.
He does not allow it. I like
Does
that.
not allow it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome. Okay. Well, Nick, are you going to do some?
I'm working on it. I'm working
Okay.
on it.
All right.
I thought I had it at the beginning, and then it was like, no, just kidding.
Well, while he's doing that, I just want to say thank you to Nick and Lindsay and Angelina for inviting us. And we're just praying for blessings, open heavens over your business, over
Oh, thank you.
all the things that you guys are doing. And I just see some amazing things coming your way. So we're really excited to just spend time with y'all. We're excited.
Thank you. We're excited too. So I am so excited because all of your topics, I'm like, yep. We need to plan some more sessions to have y'all come back because I already know we're gonna get stuck on a couple that are like pretty
There we
big.
go.
They're pretty big topics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
I got it. Second time. I got the second time.
Nice
so
job.
hey, let's hop right into this because these are leaders and they already have things scheduled after this that they have to
Yes.
get to. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to talk about this. The first topic is the importance of vision. So real quick, let's define vision because depending on what book you read, the
It
definition
means
can
different
change,
things.
right? So what is vision to y'all?
I'll start out. I only use one definition, and that's from the Bible. And one of our favorite verses is that a people without a vision will perish. And so we always look at verses. We always look at verses in the converse also. And so if you do have a vision, then you'll flourish. And so that's been something that we've really held on to and said, hey, if we do have a vision and we know where we're going and we're speaking things into existence and we're writing things down, with regards to our marriage, with regards to our kids and our business and our finances, then everything will flourish. But if we don't have that vision, then it's going to just wilt away. So
But what does that mean to have a vision?
for us, it's having a clear direction of where we're going as a family and painting that picture and having a visual of what we can see. And Gina will talk a little bit about what we've been doing from a actual action standpoint, but I want to hear what she has to say because she's paints it a lot better.
So I think before we really get so deep into a vision, and everybody who's like, I've heard it, it sounds kind of weird, I'm not sure about it or how to approach it. It really could be very simple. Really, it could be very simple for your family. It could be something very simple for you. What we're going to talk about seems like, oh, it's just so like you just do it and it happens, but it's very intentional. And what I mean is the vision could be very simple as actually having the conversation is like, hey, what do we want to do in our business? How do we want to come do this show? Can we add that? Is that the vision that we're doing? So if somebody comes and throws us something like, hey, there's this great idea, this great opportunity. Wait, but does it align with what we're trying to do right now? Because as good as it could sound, it could just sway us from what we're actually trying to do. But then it could be very simple things, right? The vision of like, you know what, we want our son to be a little bit more respectful, right? How do we teach that to him and have the vision for him as well? And instead of just like, I'm the parent and you listen, right? Like that's it. It's like, okay, if I want my son to be an honorable and respectful boy, then I got to make sure that I'm showing up that way too. And what does that look like for me? And honestly, I would say 6 years ago, somebody had asked us, do you guys have a vision for your marriage? And we're like, what in the world is that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. You just get married and it'll work out. Right?
We hope.
We hope it
That's
works
the-
out. It's like you're
that's
on
the
that
goal.
hope. You're on that hope kind of strategy.
Yeah.
But when you're a little bit more intentional, I believe, and you have the conversations, and you do have to have the conversation. I think that's probably where vision, wherever that's it, you have to have those conversations. And most people are just not willing to have them because they're difficult, they're weird. Or the vision might not look exactly how you thought. And you're kind of like, okay, so how do we adjust it or how do we meet in the middle?
So let's take that one step at a time. One, there's a verse that talks about vision.
Yes.
Okay. Two, I actually wrote this down. People without a vision will perish. Okay. And I see that now, especially when you said that a lot of people run their marriages off of hope versus running their marriage off of a direction, off of vision. But three, speaking and writing it down. So let's go down that real quick. How often do you speak your vision? How often do you write that down?
I do it daily. I
Really?
actually write it. Now, I didn't start there, so let me, preface for people who are like, I don't even
Holy
have a
cow.
vision. Yes, like I am so behind. It's really taking the time, if you've never done it, of saying, where do I see my marriage? Do I want to be more romantic? Do I need this? I'll give you honest. Like for us, I tell my husband I want us to be more affectionate, and now we hold hands and just stuff, but actually more intentional. Holding each other a little longer. We have little kids, so the kids can take a lot of that time. So when I'm talking vision, I don't ever everybody to think it's always this big old thing. It could be as simple as like we just need to be more intentional, like
Yeah.
holding our hand.
Our 5-year plan is to,
Yeah, everybody goes into like that
everybody's like that
very
long term.
high long term, but it's like, but actually today it's about we're holding hands or we're kissing each other more, we're embracing each other a little more, because the kids just kind of can take that. And so the vision is I want to be more affectionate. So it doesn't have to be, I want to have, the best marriage. Yeah, but what does having the best marriage mean? For me, it's I want to have more affection, I want to kiss you more, I want to hold you more. So it could just be it sounds small, but it's very important.
Lucky Ernesto.
No, it's not. It's not small. I would almost say you've taken it a step further because you're not trying to blanket. I want a great marriage. You're actually taking the time to define
What that means to
what
you.
that means, and what do I as an individual want, and what do you as my spouse want to make sure that we're in alignment, on the same page, and moving forward together.
Yep.
Yes.
I would say that a lot of people don't even see. This is not taught. Okay, hear me, audience.
No.
This is not taught in school. This is not taught even in college. Like I don't even like. Sure, you have a company vision, mission, and core values. You have a company do that, right? Yeah. But what does it mean within the marriage? I like that. What does it mean within the relationship? What does it mean within the family?
I actually think it's a mindset thing because there are people that talk like this and they teach their kids this, and those kids usually become more successful than people that don't.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that.
Because
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So it's been 5 years now. So 5 years ago, Gina was already hearing like from Terry Savelle-Foy and stuff, and I started feeling that we needed to have a family vision for ourselves. And so I ended up planning a family vision day for our family. We did it at our kitchen table 5 years ago, and at that time we didn't have a lot of extra cash that we could be like, hey, let's go on a trip or anything like that. But so we planned it. We did vision boards. We prayed over our kids, and we included them into, hey, what do you guys want to do as a family? What's your vision for where we want to travel to this year? And actually wrote some stuff down. And that first year it was at the kitchen table, and had pizza, and it was fun. But I don't know if we were completely bought into it yet. And then the next year, we revisit our goals, and we're like, man, 90% of the stuff actually happened.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
we're like, okay, we need to do this again. And then the following year, my daughter comes back, and like almost everything on her vision board happened, and stuff that she didn't even realize that she put on her vision board came true, like studying abroad in England and stuff like that. And for us, it was like, wow. And so now it's part of our family culture where we expect to do it every year. We've made trips out of it.
So you just do like an annual goal setting session, kind of like a retreat for a company.
Yes.
Right, but
Companies
with
do
for the
their annual-
family.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
actual retreat for
Yeah.
that. And so, and it's, and now with our little one, even though she's just one and she might not understand, obviously we're putting the vision. Well, I want my daughter to do this and
Yep.
be this person and, be creative or whatever that looks like for her. But it's always keeping it in front of us. And I would say now we're just a little bit more. I would say when you start doing something like this, there's a very broad idea until you start making it smaller, like, okay, more clear and more clear. And like I said, when I'm talking about our marriage for this year, is we could say, yeah, we have a great marriage, but part of it being better is we got to be intentional with holding our hands and embracing each other and kissing each other and doing the things that, again, seem like that's what you should be doing. But if you know, when you have kids and you have a family and you're running a business or whatever, that can be taken away really quickly if you're not intentional. So, and I think that's something that you have to see what does that look like for me? And I'll give you another example. My idea of love is I'm going to cook. That's my love language for my family. Like cooking for me is this is how I love you. Right. But for my husband,
Will you come love me? No.
absolutely. But that's my way. Like I want to make sure that you're loved. But for my husband, he appreciates it, but he's like, I just want you to hold my hand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So what's important to me, and so you would think, well, holding his hand is so much better and easier to make a dinner, but it actually takes me a little longer because that's not my natural love to like go and be affectionate. So it's actually something that I have to work on. So do you know what I mean? So it comes with time of understanding and actually having the conversation, like, what makes you happy? What do you really like?
I still like to eat though.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's never complained. But again, I could get wrapped up into doing those things that I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even, because my husband today, didn't hold his hand today, or I didn't he just wants to be touched. Like even if I just put my hand on him. So things that seem easy, but for me, they're not natural.
Sure. So let's. I'm going to take it one step back. I love what you just said. One almost topic back was it started at the kitchen table with pizza. Okay, you don't need to make a big trip about this.
No.
You don't need to have a big overarching Fortune 500 business
Yeah.
people coming in. No. Sit down at your kitchen table. Now, just because families are going to want to know this, when you make a dream board, what do you make it on? Is it a sheet of paper? Is it a? Go ahead.
Yeah. So we usually go to Hobby Lobby, and I used to buy the big cork board. It's white and it has like two sides to it. One side is smooth, and I would cut it in fours. When there was just four of us. And then I guess a lot of people were doing this because when I would go back, now they had the smaller size
Canvas
cork boards, and so now I just buy 5 of those.
And
So
that's
you make
approximately
a new
what
one
size?
every year.
They're
the
about
4x4, 5x6.
I'd say they're probably about a little bit bigger than a sheet of paper.
Just so slightly bigger.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're not huge. It's
So like 2 foot by 3 foot.
there you go.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so and the reason why I'm asking this is you get people who think, oh, dream board, it has to be a 6 foot wide by 4 foot
Right.
tall
Have you
dream
seen
board.
Terry Foy's
Oh,
dream
yeah,
board? Like,
absolutely.
It's the whole wall. Like,
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It has to be perspective. Like this is what she lives and breathes. So for her,
Yes.
it's gotten to that point. So she has
Ooh,
to.
she's grown to
She's
that.
grown to that.
Absolutely.
If you see our very first vision board to what it is now, I can tell you
absolutely.
it's so much more specific, so much
Yep.
more clear. There's certain things that I wasn't doing in the beginning that I am doing now, and even more clear of like what are the action steps, because you could have the vision and put it and make it look pretty, but then it's like, okay, but it does require some action of me to slowly get there.
So with that, is it just pictures? Is it pictures and words, or is it just words?
Both.
Both.
It's a combination.
Combination of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use
So-
pictures, and then I write my specific goals next to it, so
Oh,
that
that's good.
there's words associated with the picture, and I know that like I don't write my stuff down every day, but I visit with my vision, and I look at it after I get done praying. I say it out loud, and I'm speaking these things so that my subconscious brain is already saying, "Hey, this stuff is happening in my life." But it's something that we visit with pretty frequently.
day.
So another good point, like I've made vision boards before as well, but my vision board was, what is something that you want to see happen? And it's not a specific timeline. You're saying, if I'm understanding you guys right, this is going to happen within this year.
Sometimes.
A combination. Some things, like there's some things that we know, I mean, they're already there and they're going to continue, might take a year, may take 2, but it's already, the vision's already kind of so we're setting the path, so to speak, already. Whether it happens in a year or we say, well, max it would be 5 years, then we're good with it. But it's already in front of us, right? The vision is in front of us that this is what the goal is. So we're not like, oh, what were we gonna do? No, it's already there. And then of course you have your you're more like, hey, I would want these in the next 90 days, in the next 60 days, and there might be just a little bit more specific, but for the most part, we know some of these things do take a little longer than we're hoping, but we just know that we're on the right track, simply already casting the vision out.
So when you do this, what is your date? Do you do this around the holidays? Do you do this summertime?
It's usually the second week of December.
Okay, so you guys have a week locked down.
Right.
We've set a date. We're going to do it this week.
Yes. And it's usually associated with a trip somewhere. And so part of my vision when we started it, and it was the second year, I told my family, I want to go to New York City and have like a really nice
Winter.
a rental. Like we can do it in close to Times Square and have spend time there in Christmas and do that. And then as we got closer, I was like, I don't think I really want to go to New York because we have little kids, and so New York didn't really make sense. And so I changed it mid-year to Colorado. And then we're like, I had a vision of, a Jeep and, driving up to the mountains and having a cabin. And literally that following year when we landed in Denver and we're driving up had the Jeep and driving up there, like I had tears in my eyes driving up to these mountains because I'm like, this is exactly the way I saw it. And for me, it was a fulfillment of a vision of just getting my family there and enjoying that time and having, time together and doing the same thing. We did our vision planning there in a cabin in the mountains of Colorado in the snow, and got to go snowmobiling and did a lot of cool stuff that our kids always remember. My son still asks about that house.
The house with the snow. But we say that it sounds lightly, but we've built ourselves to that, so I think that's sometimes expectation that when you're doing a vision board or some sort of vision, anything, if it's not big, then it's not as important. But the fact that you're doing the intention, whether it's, I only have 45 minutes because I have kids, think of just write down a couple of things of what you would want to see happen that, you feel good about. And you're like, these are things I really want to work on. Start looking at those action steps. What is that going to require of me? Because usually there is a little bit of requirement of us to be intentional, and then not worry about how it's going to happen, but just saying, I'm putting this intention out there. And so it takes time, but enjoy it, have a good time. And, it allows you to dream, it starts allowing you to dream about you, your marriage, your family. And we see it as like, we hope our kids get to do that with their families. That's what we say, like, what we would want them to be like, oh, my parents did this with us. We've always had a vision. We've always known what to do. And then just to kind of like, go back.
Kind of like their roadmap.
Yeah, their roadmap. Perfect. Yeah, it's a roadmap.
Amber, we are having conversations today. Like, this is so good. Like, a lot of people know to do this. I know to have a vision, a mission, and, core values. And I know that I need to be leading this company, and I know that I need to be leading my family. But I've always gone to the extreme of, it has to be on a trip. It has to be this. It has to be that. And what you've done for me is you just said, no, Nick, no. Order some pizza. Sit down at the table, go to Hobby Lobby, get some cork boards, and start there.
Just start.
So Amber actually had a question. She said, do y'all have a limit on the number of goals, or just pick the top 3 or 5?
It's really just led by whatever you're feeling in your spirit. Like there's certain things that I have on there. I usually break mine into fitness, spiritual, financial, business-wise, our marriage, and the way mine always seems to line up in like columns on mine, and
I can see that.
That way, when I pray, I'm prayed down one column, then I go to the next one.
Oh, I like that.
So that's the way.
So you have several goals within your fitness category or your marriage category.
I would say it's usually about 3 to 4.
Okay.
I don't have like 20 goals, if that's what you're asking.
Well, if you add those all up, 3 to 4 in each category,
right. But I mean, per category, I don't have like a ton of like categories that I'm trying to.
There you go.
Or goals that I'm trying to pursue.
But I like that, right? I mean, so me as a visionary, to keep me within, keep focused on my prayer, right? It's great. I'm going to pray down this category. I'm going to pray down this category. And now, okay, great.
You need some integrator.
Girl, there's a reason why I have 3 of you in my life, right?
Hey, as long as that's the thing. And I think the other thing about vision is also knowing that when you're speaking about it, like there's things that he has that are just personal to him. And they're personal to me, right? So we're all in our own journey of spiritually, whatever it is your journey is. And so when I'm able to say, hey, this year, this is what I'm thinking for myself as a woman, as a mom, as a friend, like I might take less things on. And so when I am doing stuff, he'll be like, oh yeah, you did say you were going to do that. I remember, that's your journey. Same thing with him. Hey, you know what? Remember I mentioned that this is what I wanted to do. So now it's not like, what do you mean you want to do that? You've never said anything like that. It's more like we've already discussed it, and it might change, right? It might change. It might not look like what you expected, but for the most part, you're setting the intention, you're setting the tone for the year or for the month. You don't have to wait till January. That's the other thing. You can start now of just where you want the year to go, the week, the month. But God works for us individually too. It's not just as a marriage, but it's good when you're both aligned. You can pray about it and then allow those things, happen for ourselves.
Yeah, that's good. One thing that we always talk about is we're creating that long-term legacy with our kids. And so that, like, when our first grandkids are born, they're going to be involved in this. And, I have 2 daughters. So when a future son-in-law comes into the family, they're going to understand how our culture is in our family, so that I can teach them. They may not be equipped with the tools to lead my daughters. It's my responsibility to make sure that they understand how we do things, so that way they can continue leading my daughters with vision, and not just leave it to chance and say, okay, well, hopefully they will. No, I want to bring them into our culture and say, this is how we do things. This is how you can get the things that you want in your life for your family, and we're equipping them. And then kind of dovetailing off of that, we always talk about our kids, like, the world's crazy and this is going on. And, you can think the world is falling apart, but if you're building people in your family that are leaders and they have vision, then they'll be the ones that are leading the people through the chaos instead of like, oh, I don't know what to do. And so we believe we're equipping our kids for the future. So when they do have a vision, they'll be the people that are like, okay, I got this. This is where we're going. They'll be leading organizations, cities, governments, whatever, but we're preparing them with the right mentality so that they can be the ones that say, no, we got this. I got you. I'll show you how to get out of this. So that's the long-term vision.
I love that you guys have the individual boards. Do you guys also have like a collective family vision board, or is it all broken out within your individual boards?
Yes, it's broken out individually. So we have the kids have their own. And then of course, like mine has our marriage, has my personal stuff, our work stuff. But yeah, it's kind of we have our own.
Okay.
It just takes a little more work to do another one.
I know, but I'm like,
no, don't get too complicated and do on the things that are important to you. If it's just adding, for me this year is cultivating more of my friendships. Like we work a lot. There's we have little kids, but actually cultivating more relationships of I want to do this more, things that really bring me joy. That fulfill me. But again, it has to be intentional, right? So it could be as simple as we've put people in our vision boards. So like we want to be aligned with these people a little more, and just kind of really speaking that out there. And people that we never thought we'd be aligned with, we're like, wow, I never would have considered that. So it could be, I say all that it could be as simple, but I kind of want to backtrack also is this was only 5 years ago, guys. So we didn't grow up. We didn't grow up doing this. Our parents didn't teach us. Like we did really good growing up for the most part. He went the military way. I went to college. We did the whole thing. But, other than that, nobody taught us that. It's just, we bought it, when you get involved with people and, and you start learning, you're like, oh my God, this is important for us. Why didn't we never know this? And so, again, I say that it's been a learning process. It's not, something that we've always done and we've always learned, or that it's super easy. It's like, it takes intention. When he first did it, I was like, in my mind, I was like, I've been telling you to do this, but you didn't listen to me, but okay. Right. And I was just like,
and he's like, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, so when he brought it up and he's like, we're going to do this every year, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to do this for a long time. You didn't listen to me. But at the same time, and even my daughter would roll her eyes, and now she's like, oh my God, she's so excited. So if you see her board now, you're like hers is like crystal clear of what she wants, and so it excites me because I'm like, she has a vision, she knows where she's going. She's excited.
And she knows what she wants. How many kids her age are like, what do you want? I don't know. Yeah. What's out there? I don't know.
So what age would you recommend starting a vision board? Now. With your kids. Now.
Our little one, she's no wrong age. She's going to be 2, and I'm casting the vision for her.
This will be her second year this year doing the vision board.
Give me an example of what's on your daughter, your youngest daughter. Yeah.
We have a bunch of chalk on there. We have a lot of like crayons. I have her running. We have her that she's a reader, so we have her with books. I know that she's bilingual. So I have a lot of stuff that she's she's a godly woman, you know who she is. So, you know, have a big, pretty cross on there.
She's a patriot.
She's a patriot that we stand up, you know, we are huge, proud Americans. And so, so every day that they're seeing it, because it's in their bathroom, they could see it, you know, and now we kind of put, now she loves Spider-Man. So I got to put
That
stuff
is
that
so
they
cute.
like,
Of
you know, I want them
course.
to eat a little bit more vegetables. So I have like little pieces of broccoli on them. So again, it could be that small, right? It could be that small. Like, I just want my kids to eat just a little bit more greens. And, you know, and it's funny that sometimes they're like, oh, I really like this. I'm like, oh my God, it's working, you know? So it could be as simple as that.
So
I want to pose a question. Imagine all of us are adults. What if we would have grown up like this from age 1 to the age we are now, and having this embedded into our lives? How much different would our lives be?
So different.
bro,
And
I
it
ask that
hurts my brain
question
to even
all
think
the
that
time. I mean, so we with the guests that we've had on this week, I've asked that question. What if someone had taught me this when I was 10 years old? Like maybe you went 0 to 10 and you didn't get A's. But if you started when you were 10 years old, if someone told you a vision board at 10 years old, and it didn't have to be complicated, it was 3 to 5 things, but you were setting a direction for your life, and you had people like y'all, right? Like you two, and you had people like Pastor Keith, and you had people that really wanted you to succeed. Where would you be, right? So it just, yes, like, I'm 40 years old and I'm just now like seriously going, yes, we have a vision board, but have I broken it down into 3 to 5? No. Have I written it out completely? No. Do I write it down? Do I write down my goals every day? No. But you want to know what? I can do a little bit better.
That's all.
Yep.
And that's all you need, just doing a little bit better and getting a little bit more. And what'll happen is you start getting excited because, like I said, the fact that my son wants broccoli all of a sudden is like, might not be a big deal, but I'm like, you know, I'm pretty much portraying, I want him to be a healthy boy, you know, and stuff like that. That's what I'm portraying long term, you know. So, you know, you do your little happy dance, but it's like this stuff, you really are putting it out there, and you're just, when it starts happening, you just get excited. So guess what? Now you're like, I want to do it a little more, and I want to
Right.
do it a little more. What else can I add there? But I will say also, like, some things do take time. You know, if you are in a hard relationship right now, your marriage is not well, and you're like, Gina, I cannot just go put a vision board, but that's the intention that you do want your marriage to work, right? That this is what I'm going to do right now. So no, your marriage is not going to change in, you know, 3 days, 90 days, but it's going to require intention. And guess what? It's going to start changing your heart. It's going to start changing your partner's heart. So the fact that you can just start a little bit, or maybe it's your health journey that you're like, man, I just have so many health issues. How am I going to just put this stuff in the, you know, on a vision board? No, but you're putting the intention that, you know what, I'm going to at least walk 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like, and then as you start feeling better, then you start doing it longer. So I think that's the problem, that vision boards become, there has to be this big grandiose thing, and then we don't do it. And so then we're like, they don't work.
We get overwhelmed.
We get overwhelmed because we have way too many things that just, you know, for a fact, just not that it can't happen, but it's going to take longer, and you're not going to get excited.
So for me, just last thing I'm going to say on this, because, oh my gosh, we're out of time.
I know. We only hit one topic.
Oh my
mind.
gosh.
And I have another question. So
Go ahead. No, I don't need to talk.
So you mentioned that you put it in your kids' bathrooms, right? So they see it.
Yep.
Okay. Where do you put it for y'all?
I have it in my bathroom too, because that's the first thing I see, and at night, or it's the last place I visit.
Mine's in my office at home.
Okay. So
When as soon as I sit down, I see it.
so I have a question. When?
And I have it on my phone. So I have it always in front of me.
Goodness.
It's always in front of me. I just started doing that this year. So again, I'm a learning process. So I have it, my vision's always in front of me.
When is there going to be a Lopez leadership course? I'm not lying right now. I am serious. Like, because what you're saying, everything that you just watched in this episode, this should be a course. This should be a certificate. This should be, hey, parents. And there's so many people that need this, right? Yeah.
And I think it would be awesome to actually like help walk people through it, because that's where people get like I'm intimidated. I don't want to, like, I don't know how to start. And once you walk them through the process, you're like, hey, I'm going to talk to you about it. And then I'm going to walk through it with you. And now you get to do it on your own. Like, that is the teaching
now you bring
model.
it into your Yep.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
We're going to create an LLC, the Lopez Leadership Course.
I
all these
know
ideas
we don't have a lot of time, but I'm just going to bring this up.
Yeah.
Because it's in my heart right now to share this. And you're more than welcome to invite us back to talk about
Oh,
just
we will.
this.
You guys are coming back.
To talk about just this. The syrup that you can pour all over it that makes it actually come to life is your giving. And you want to talk about going to the next level with your vision? Like, we've been studying Terry Savelle, Gary Cassey, the stuff that Pastor Keith teaches. When you apply seed to it, like, it takes it to a whole nother level. And you say, okay, God, I'm believing for this. This is the stuff that I'm seeing in my life, in my marriage, my kids. And you say, you know what? I'm going to give, and I'm going to write down, God, I gave this seed, and I'm believing for these things. Now you just completely break free of, you know, what I've heard, or I've learned is the earth curse system. And we have authority to have everything that we want in our life. But if you go all the way back to like Adam and Eve, Adam gave up authority to his right to have dominion here on earth. And we can get that back just by understanding God's laws. And that, we started the vision and stuff was happening. And when we started applying seed to it, wow. And like we could literally talk about this.
And
for
I would say
hours.
that's in the last year, because I mean, again, everything's gradual, and it's kind of like anything with God, right? God is very, works with us where we're at. So again, we don't want people to be like, oh my God, now I got to add other things. No, like if you just start with the vision of what you want, just start there. Like that's so much more important at this point when you're just starting. And the other thing, because I know we didn't get to finish the other stuff, but just to kind of do that. So when you have that, then you start then you have your priority set. So like I mentioned earlier, if you already have your vision, this is what we want for our family, it's hard to get railed off on things that sound really, really good.
Right.
But you're like, yeah, but that kind of would impact this. I would kind of impact that. Again, sometimes we just kind of go with it and we're like, yeah, let's go do it. And later I'm like, why would we do that? Just because we could doesn't mean we should, right?
Exactly.
And so that helps us just kind of stay, you know, in the journey and the path that we want. And if God calls us to other things, then great. But for the most part, we know at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to get to. It's a reminder of what we're trying to accomplish. And then that has now, in the last 2 years, we've put it now with our team. Our work team.
Yeah,
I
and
really love.
Don't get it misconstrued. I'm not saying you got to give $1,000 or $2,000 to make your vision come. It's whatever your measure is at that time. I've seen people that are like, oh, I can give $5 right now. But when you do it with intentionality and you say, okay, like this is the seed that I have, I'm taking it from my authority to God's authority, and God can do amazing things with it. It might be $5. It might be $1 at the time, but you're applying a purpose to it and a vision with that money. Then God can do amazing things with it. And that's where you go to that very next level where you just could tell stories and stories for days about our kids, about our family, about our business, about our marriage, even our kids sleeping through the night. Like
as simple as that, broccoli and sleeping through the night. Like those are huge wins.
But that's important, right? Because intentionality. I'm not sitting here going, oh God, woe is me. Oh God, how am I going to do this? It's, I am choosing. Like maybe here we go, right? Maybe you're in debt. Maybe you got so far in debt that every penny counts. Right? But there's something that you can give into the kingdom that could be intentional. Something. With this vision board, we're not saying you have to be at 100%. Start small. With your giving, start small, but start it. Hear me, audience. Start it. Okay, that's the most important part. Just start moving forward. Start whatever it is, working out. Start with your vision board. Take just one step forward and then watch, because magically you're going to want to take another step.
Yes.
And then another step.
Yes.
And then you get to the point where you guys are at, where you're looking back 5 years going, oh my goodness, look how well this worked.
Yes.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
one
greatness.
step at a time. Yeah.
It's huge. It's a big deal.
So
awesome.
I know we're going to have y'all back, because I'm serious. I want an LLC. I want a Lopez leadership course.
Why he wants y'all back.
Very selfish. Absolutely.
We're happy to ever teach anybody, you know, just kind of understand, you know, the very basics. Like I said, we're not like teachers or anything. We're literally just being led by the Spirit and saying, hey, like we make it fun. You know, we have, you know, music going on, we have food, like we're having a good time, but at the same time we're having conversation, because and be honest with yourselves. You don't have to say anything, but do you ever really ask the question to your kids, what do you want? And most kids are like, well, I don't know. Well, have you ever thought of this? And that's where you have those questions of opening their minds of like, well, have you ever, you know, you could do this, you could do this. So by the time they are 10, 12, 15, 18, they're like, oh no, man, I've had a vision forever. Like I've always known where I'm going, you know, versus I don't know. You know, it's like, no, let's be intentional and have purpose for them and tell them, yes, there's a lot of things you could do.
And when you have a young person that is now leaving the household
Yes.
with I don't know,
It's dangerous.
It is very dangerous in this current world.
Yep. Our daughter just moved out, this couple of days ago, and I have total peace about it because I know she's in a good spot. I know she's very well equipped. Of course, you have the day-to-day, where it's like, oh my gosh, she's by herself. But as far as her future, or my God, is she going to be okay? I don't, because she has a vision. She knows where she's going.
That's good. All right. This episode, we're not going to be able to go to 45 minutes because they have leadership things that they need to do. I'm going to pull this camera back over to me real quick. Would you mind handing me that blue? The blue? Yes. Outstanding. Sorry. I meant... So, it's Thursday. Where are you at with your big three? Okay. Hopefully you got to the point where you get to take off tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday for a lot of the schools in the area, and you're gonna be able to spend some time with your kids. If not, it's okay. It's okay. Get it done. All right. Get it done now. Take that step now to make sure that you can then spend more time with your family, more time with the people who matter in the future. Okay. So where are you at in your big three? Make sure you get it done. Thank you both for coming in today and dropping this knowledge. That was like, I'm gonna have to go back. I have so many episodes to go back and rewatch now, right? Yeah. Goodness gracious. And I want the LLC. Like, I want this.
Done.
Okay.
Nick, before you drop us off, for all the people that are seeing this on our page, please go and follow Social Media Torch, Nick Artside, Coffee and Cookies.
Yep, the Coffee and Cookies.
People that know us, that are clients of ours, that are on our team. Make sure that you check this out because it's bringing value. Yes. But if you know us and you're friends with us or you've done business with us, make sure that you like their page and check it out because you're going to get some good value out of it.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. So real quick, if they want to, what other areas within the church are you two involved in that they can connect with you on?
We are in marriage group. Again, vision, right? So marriage is important. So we have our marriage group on there at Elevate Live. That's kind of like the main thing. And then we do freedom ourselves as well. And so those are the two main things that we're plugged in right now for church.
Okay. If they wanted to message you on Facebook, is that allowed?
Sorry. Yes, they can message us Gina Lopez or Ernesto Lopez. And then our work page is Consulta Finance LLC.
Perfect. All right. So what we will be doing is we'll make sure that all of that is in the comments so you can reach out to them, whether it's on the leadership side, whether it's on the financial side, or whether it's on the marriage side, right? Because they're involved in all those. And hear me on this. This is why you need to get in the room, okay?
Yes.
If I had never gotten in the room, I never would have met this couple.
Yes.
And they would never have been here sharing. I mean, we spent 30 minutes talking about vision fundamentals. Okay, that you can actually implement into your household, not some magical hocus pocus visionary stuff. Okay, this is things that you can do now, and if you have questions, reach out to them.
Yes.
So, thank you guys for being in. Thank you guys for being in the comments. Thank you guys for the likes. That's how we know to pray for you. Okay, that's also how we know that you're watching because Facebook and YouTube let us know numbers, but they don't tell us who exactly you are. It's probably a privacy thing, I'm thinking, but so. Thank you guys for being here. Love you guys. It's Thursday. Make sure to bring your positive today. Make sure to bring your energy today. People need it. The people within your sphere of influence need your positive. They need your energy and they need your greatness. So make sure you bring it. Make sure that you
rise up
and crush it.
Bye,
y'all.